It's NAB 2023. We're in the Central Hall and we're on the Leader Fabric stand, and I'm joined by Steve. Hello, Steve. How you doing?
I am doing really good. Thank you very much.
Well, it's good to stop by. Now, we're on the cloud and remote monitoring part of your booth here. So I guess we should talk about what we're seeing here and the need to monitor in the cloud and what could go wrong.
Yes. So a lot of our customers are starting to think about using cloud, and the problem is it's a big black hole. They send the data up there, they hope it goes through and hope it comes down. But when you send it up there and something happens and it doesn't come down right, you want to be able to monitor that.
And what would be the typical thing that might happen?
So the biggest thing is drop data.
Okay.
And in a uncompressed world or even a compressed world, one data bit that you lose is a whole big chunk of data.
Yeah, sure.
So you can't lose anything going up there.
Okay.
So what we're showing here is AWS CDI, which is the uncompressed 2110 going into the cloud.
Yep.
We can monitor that, so we have an EC2 instance in the cloud, and we can actually do all of our waveform monitoring. We've got the same tools we have in our conventional waveform monitors in the cloud, so that we can look at packet loss, we can look at time delays, and see what's happening. The other thing is there's a lot of processing that people may be doing in the cloud. They may be adding the captions there, maybe doing other SCSI triggers and other things in the cloud.
Yep.
How much delay is that adding to your stream when it goes? So we can take the original feed and we can take the feed after it's gone through all of the services that you've added, compare the two, and see what the time delay is, so you can work that into your video flow and know exactly how much delay that's going to be.
Okay, gotcha. Cool.
The other thing is, if you don't want to put uncompressed data because it's really expensive, really eats up the pipe, NDI seems to be the compression system that a lot of people are using to put into the cloud.
Yep.
So we have a second tier that we can actually measure within the same software compressed flows that are going into the cloud, and then monitor the same exact pieces. Look at it in the waveform monitor, make sure all of your triggers are working, make sure all of the metadata is staying with it. You're not losing captions, you're not losing SCSI triggers, and all of the data that you need, and be able to measure that through and actually do the same exact measurements we do on SDI or 2110 in the plant up in an EC2 instance in the cloud.
Yeah. So how are people, before this has come along, how did people get around these issues before?
They'd have to turn around and call AWS, in this case, and try to figure out what's going on. Just looking at Wireshark captures and data flows, they can't tell what's going on. It's a black hole.
Yeah. So this is going to identify a problem.
Yes.
And then what can they then do to solve the problem?
Well, then they can work with the cloud provider to tell them that, hey, this is what's happening.
Exactly what's happening.
So the cloud provider can now look at it and know what piece to look at and see where it is within their flow.
Rather than just saying there's a problem, they can identify exactly what the problem is.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Be proactive.
Yeah. And is this a concept or is this a product that's available now?
This is just a concept. This is a beta that we are working on, but this is actually live working in the cloud. So this is actually sitting on an EC2 instance in AWS.
Okay.
So we have gotten far enough that it is actually running.
Fantastic.
So we're looking for customer feedback on the types of tools that they need.
Yeah. And what types of customers do you think this is going to appeal to?
It's going to be the larger customers, that are the big network providers that need this, that are huge, providers of many services. Yeah. It's not for the typical broadcast station because they typically don't use the cloud.
No, absolutely, yeah. And as far as getting started in implementation, is it quite easy to roll out?
Yes, yeah. It's just dropping an executable on an EC2 instance, point it at your flows, and you're done.
Job done. Fantastic. Steve, that's brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. I look forward to seeing how this develops in the future.
You and me both. Thanks a lot.
Thanks very much indeed. Of course, you can find out all the details online on the Leader website, or you can come to NAB Central Hall and find them and chat to Steve, and he'll tell you all about it. And do check out the other videos we've been doing here on the Leader stand with Kevin. And for everything else we're doing at NAB, check out kitplus.com.
Thank you very much.